Peace, everyone. It's a beautiful day here. Still out in Costa Rica. The sun is shining bright. It's been raining the past few days, but today is a very, very beautiful sunny day. It's nice and warm. It's been a little chilly here the past few days. So chilly for me. I get cold easily. But I'm very grateful for the sunny day. The grass is dry. I'm able to come out here and just enjoy, having some fresh air. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about something that, this one is definitely a personal one, something that I'm going through and that I want to share because I like to share, my growth. I think it's inspiring. I think it's reaffirming. I think it helped me to stay on the path of knowing that I have work to do when I share and I keep it relevant, So this pertains to my relationship with my boyfriend, but it can tie into any relationship, mom and child, siblings, friends, co-workers, if that is something that is if that's a space that's created between the two, between the parties or whatever. So basically I wanted to speak about how the sun is in my eyes, so forgive me if I look like but basically I wanted to speak about how in a relationship with another human, it's very complex. It's very touchy to be there present with another human and show up fully representing yourself and allowing that other person to do the same. There's misunderstandings, miscommunications done innocently so many times, and I want to speak specifically about my relationship because my boyfriend is someone who loves to communicate, and I thought that I was someone that loved to communicate until I was faced with someone who really loves to communicate. Now, I had never had the opportunity in the past with what I feel is like with anyone to really practice communication, to really show up for myself and speak about how I'm feeling, and to have it be heard and to have it be resolved through conversation, through the communication. I mean, that's something that I'm really being met with now, and it's been a little difficult for me because that involves being very vulnerable. And like I said, I had never been in a situation where what I felt I was allowed to be vulnerable, or at least I was heard, or the space was safe for me to be vulnerable. Sorry, I feel like there's thousands of bugs on me. So now that I'm in a safe space, I have a lot of unlearning to do, and I have to soften myself to thrive in this space, in this partnership. And one of the things that I'm really finding is helping is to confront myself, and to not only confront myself when I'm by myself, because that's safe for me, it's comfortable for me. First of all, confronting yourself is a very uncomfortable thing to do. You have to realize certain things about yourself that are not good. They don't benefit you. They don't benefit your growth. And they definitely don't help a relationship to thrive when there's things about yourself that are preventing you from opening yourself to another person 100% and being open to them as well. And so I had to confront myself about things that I hadn't really realized about myself, and it just was recurrent. It was coming up. It was a cycle that was being shown to me, and I was like, wow, this is something that I have to really sit with and really kind of look at and wonder what is going on here, because I'm not always right. I'm not the victim all the time, and I have a role that I'm playing in this cycle, in this recycling of experiences. So I had to sit with myself, and I had to figure out, really think about it. And for me particularly, I have a really hard time with emotions because I get overwhelmed by them. I get really, really consumed by them to the point where it's like chaotic, and I cannot find any clarity. I'm used to really moving in a way, in a logical way. Like, I have to make sense of it. It has to make sense to me for me to move forward with it. I'm not gonna do anything just because. And so it takes even the act of me having to sit alone with myself first to figure out what it is that I'm feeling, or what it is that is happening between us, is a really uncomfortable part, because, like I said, my partner is someone who really, really, really likes communication, and he likes the space of figuring things out together as a unit, whereas, as far as communication, whereas I'm like, no, I can't communicate anything right now, because I have to figure out what it is that I even want to communicate, what it is that I'm even feeling, and it has to make sense to me for me to even allow it to leave my lips to express it to you. So yeah, so I had to sit with myself, and not only did I have to sit with myself and really come to an understanding of what was happening within me that was creating a blockage, but I had to then bring that to my partner. See, what I find with a lot of people that I know personally, if they're even in a space that is an introspective one, where they practice introspection, it's another step that you have to bring what you've reflected on to your partner and be honest about who you are and what you're experiencing. That part is crucial, because it now joins, it brings the union back together in a way where you are now working towards resolving a potential problem between the two of you. And so sitting with yourself is very important. Being honest with yourself is very important, but you have to take what you learned about yourself. You have to take what you just realized about yourself, what just came to your awareness about yourself that you have to work on, and you have to bring it to your partner and be honest. You cannot work on yourself by yourself in a relationship. You can, but it has to be done transparently. You have to be transparent with your partner about what it is that you're going through, what it is that you're working on. I mean, you are doing it by yourself. Don't get me wrong, people can only be a catalyst or can only be a mirror for you to see certain things, but you do the work. However, you have to be transparent with your partner about the work that you're doing, about what you're struggling with, what you realize about yourself that may be a hard pill for you to swallow. But your partner is supposed to be there to aid you through this. Once it's brought to their awareness that this is something that you're struggling with, they can now move throughout the relationship with the sensitivity that, wow, my partner is struggling with something. They're not just mean, or they're not just impatient, or because things surface as just a surface. They come up as just a surface reaction, feeling, or emotion, but everything is deeper than that. And that's where the growth happens, is when you go deeper and say, wait, why do I get angry every time that happens? Wait, why do I not want to express this thing? You have to understand yourself and know what it is that you're going through, and you have to share that. You have to be open. You have to be transparent about what you're going through if you want progress to be made. Now, if it's just you, it's just the thing that you're doing myself, let's say it's a coworker, or it's something that happened, it's an isolated situation, you need to go through it by yourself and figure out, and then you go back out into the world. But it's always going to involve, things are always going to surface from you, that like unpleasant things always surface from you when it comes to another human, something outside of you shows it to you. You don't just walk around and you're like, I'm upset, or I'm frustrated, or I'm impatient. Things happen outside of you that show that quality being surfaced to you. And so that's why you have to be transparent, because everyone's an individual going through their own growth, going through their own realizations. And if you don't share yours with another person, how would they know? How would they know to walk with the sensitivity? How would they know to be empathetic towards what is going on? How would they know to show up for you in a certain way if you're not transparent about it? And that's another thing, is like, you have to be open to receiving help. Now, it could just be that you don't need help and that you know how to figure everything out and do it all by yourself. But you have to be open to receiving some type of support as well, you know. It's hard. It's a tough space to be in when you're learning things about yourself. I'm sorry if the camera angle is wrong. It's like halfway down here or up there, but yeah. I just wanted to share that because through introspection, through reflection, through vulnerability, through transparency, through allowance, acceptance, you know, that's where growth happens. You really have to be intentional about your own growth. You have to be intentional about things that you want to thrive in your life. You have to be intentional. You are not going to get supervisor. This is a small scale. If you work at a store and you want to be a supervisor, or if you want to get a promotion, or if you want to be an entrepreneur, or if you want to, be a doctor, these are things you have to be very intentional about. It's not just gonna happen because it's a thought in the back of your mind, or something that you want, or something that you might entertain, but you just suppress it and don't really think about it. You have to bring it to the forefront. You have to acknowledge this is, and you have to make an effort to be intentional about what you're doing. And if you don't, you will have very little results, and you will have recycled experiences. You will have pain. You will have misery. You will have just difficulty. You will have difficulty in your life. And we want to make this experience as flowing, as free flowing as possible, with the least amount of friction, the least amount of suffering, So, yeah, that's what I wanted to share, Be open, guys, be vulnerable, share your struggles with your partners, your friends, your loved ones, people that you're close with, people that you love, and show up for other people when they share these things, about themselves with you, when they share their heart, when they open themselves to you. Show up for them and hold a space for them. All right. Peace, y'all.